Tell if it's warm or cold. I guess it all depends on where you are in the scene.
Say we're in front of a fireplace.
Okay. So this is still all about the war against ourselves.
I'm ready for that war to be over.
Yeah, me too. The war against yourself was undertaken to teach the Son of God, all of us, that he is not himself, that we are not ourselves, and that he is not his Father's Son. That's the war against ourselves talking. For this erroneous self-appraisal of God's Son to be possible, the memory of his Father must be forgotten. The memory of his Father is forgotten in the body's life. And if you think you are a body, you will believe you have forgotten the memory of God. Yet truth can never be forgotten by itself. With Christ, and you have not forgotten what you are. It's all there. And as soon as we scroll a little bit, I can read the next sentence. Only a strange egoic illusion of yourself, a wish to triumph over what you truly are, remembers not his Father.
The Christ always remembers the truth of what it is. It's only with a tiny split part of our mind that identifies itself with the separation that holds the erroneous belief that we could even be a body. We call this tiny split part that believed there was something to fear from an illusion our egoic little s self. It was not the illusion of separation that was the problem. It was our egoic self's belief that there was something to fear that made the illusion appear real. We forgot to laugh at this joke.
War against ourselves is but the battle of two illusions struggling to make the two illusions appear different from each other in the belief that one that conquers will be true. There is no conflict between the two illusions and the truth, nor are the two illusions different from each other. Both of the two illusions are still illusions and not true. And so it matters, it matters not what form the two illusions take. What made the two illusions, which is the ego, is insane. And the two illusions remain part of what made them, which is the ego, and thus both are equally insane delusions. Madness holds out no menace to reality, and madness has no influence upon reality. Illusions cannot triumph over truth, nor can illusions threaten the truth in any way. And the reality that illusions deny the truth is not a part of the illusion.
It doesn't matter what form an illusion may take. All illusions have the same content. There are an attempt to make the false real. There is no substitute for the truth. Truth just is. We are the extension of our Creator. Our mistaken egoic self-appraisal for littleness cannot change the truth of what we are. The correction of any form of illusion is always the same. Bring the illusion to the light of truth, and false will disappear. This is why there is no order of difficulty in the performance of miracles. Miracles just bring truth to the false, like bringing light to a shadow. The correction of the false must be the result. When you shine a light on a shadow, it disappears.
Oof. What you remember is a part of you, for you must be as God created you. Truth does not fight against illusions, nor do illusions fight against the truth. There's no battle. Illusions battle only with themselves, and it's just a big illusion. Being fragmented, illusions fragment. But truth is indivisible and far beyond illusions' little reach. You will remember what you know when you have learned you cannot be in conflict with yourself. One illusion about yourself can battle with another illusion about yourself. Yet the war of two illusions is a state where nothing happens. There is no victor. There is no victory between illusions. And truth stands radiant apart from conflict, untouched and quiet in the peace of God.
Truth does not attack an illusion. To attack would be to give the illusion the appearance of being real. It is impossible to attack the nothingness of an illusion except with another illusion. Truth stands alone because truth is all there is. Illusions hide from the truth, since in the truth's light all illusions fade away. Illusions do battle among themselves within the dream of separation. Within the dream itself, illusions battle each other for the right to be the truth for the day. I mean, that's true, but that happens in time. Truths change as we go through time, and that's the way time messes with this view of eternity. These dreams, being based on the instability of nothingness, also the inconsistency of time, they constantly shift around with the changing goals of the ego.
Conflict must be between two forces. Conflict cannot exist between one power and nothingness. There is nothing you could attack that is not part of you. And by attacking the nothingness of an illusion, you make two illusions of yourself in conflict with each other. It's like having two puppets like this. And this conflict of two opposing illusions about yourself occurs whenever you look on anything that God created with anything but love. Conflict is fearful, for conflict is the birth of fear. Yet what is born of nothing cannot win reality through battle. How would you fill your world with conflicts with yourself? Let all this madness about conflict with yourself be undone for you and turn in peace to the remembrance of God still shining in your quiet mind.
The continuing illusions about ourselves can be corrected by asking for the guidance of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will take our misperceptions and correct them to reflect the truth. It's our denial of the use of our Christ vision that generates all illusion. Egoic seeing focuses only on the illusion of the body form, while the underlying content is ignored.
See how the conflict of illusions disappears when the conflict of illusions is brought to truth. For the conflict between illusions seems real only as long as the conflict is seen as war between conflicting truths. The conqueror to be the truer, the more real, and the vanquisher of the illusion that was less real made an illusion by defeat. Thus, conflict is the choice between illusions. One to be crowned as real, the other vanquished and despised. Here, within the conflict of an illusionary world, will the Father never be remembered. Yet no illusion can invade the Father's home, Christ, and drive the Father out of what the Father loves forever, his creation. And what the Father loves must be forever quiet and at peace because it is the Father's own.
Our Christ consciousness never forgets the truth. The Christ is the home of the Creator. The peace of God cannot be found in an illusion, but only in the truth.
You who are beloved of the Father are no illusion, being as true and holy as the Father. The stillness of your certainty of the Father and of yourself, the Christ, is home to both of you who dwell as one and not apart. Open the door of the Father's most holy home and let forgiveness sweep away all trace of the belief in sin that keeps God homeless and his Son with him. You are not a stranger in the house of God. Welcome your brother to the home where God has set your brother in serenity and peace, where God dwells with your brother. Illusions have no place where love abides. The Christ where love abides protects you from everything that is not true. You dwell in peace as limitless as its creator, and everything is given those who would remember the creator. Over the creator's home, the Holy Spirit watches, sure that its peace can never be disturbed.
The Christ is the home of our brother, the sonship, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and ourselves. This demonstrates that the oneness is the joint mind of all that is. There is no separation in truth. There is just the oneness that is the mind of God. This is what we call the one self.
How can the resting place of God, the Christ, turn on itself and seek to overcome the one self who dwells there? And think what happens when the house of God perceives itself divided. The altar of truth disappears, the light grows dim, the temple of the Holy One becomes a house of sin, and nothing is remembered except illusions. Illusions can conflict because their forms are different, and illusions do battle only to establish which form of the illusion is true.
Within the dream of the illusion of separation, our mind appears to be split. The Christ, which is the home of the Holy Trinity, remains within the truth. It is the one self. The egoic part of the split mind, however, has identified itself with illusion of separation. This loss of knowledge within the egoic mind led to uncertainty and doubt that birthed perception. The ego is part of our mind that doubts what it was. It's our egoic mind's identification within the dream that is the problem. While observing the game of separation, part of us forgot to laugh at the joke that we possibly could be separated from God. So fear arose. We forgot that we were just observing a game within the mind and that it was not real. When we took the game seriously, we made the dream real within our egoic mind. We became a player within the game. Yet this player had forgotten that this was just a game of make believe. The egoic mind forgot that we were the dreamer. Thus, to the egoic mind, there appeared to be something outside the one self to fear. With this sense of fear, we no longer felt invulnerable and lost the peace and safety of the one self.
Hmm. Illusion meets illusion. Truth meets only itself. The meeting of illusions leads to war. Peace, looking on itself, extends itself. War is the condition in which fear is born and grows and seeks to dominate. Peace is the state where love abides and seeks to share itself. Conflict and peace are opposites, where either conflict or peace abides, the other cannot be. Where either conflict or peace goes, the other disappears. So is the memory of God obscured in minds that have become illusions battleground. Yet far beyond this senseless war between illusions, the memory of God shines, ready to be remembered when you side with peace.
Peace and conflict, like truth and illusions, are mutually exclusive, like light and dark. Christ remains always at peace, since it is only the oneness of God. Peace is the state of heaven, which is the real world. ACIM also states that the Christ is also the state of heaven. Again, we see the oneness of the whole, which is the Christ. The world of perception is not the real world. It is a world of form in which change is possible, and therefore time exists. Conflict does appear in time and space. This illusionary world of perception, our private world of provisional reality, becomes the battleground where the game of separation is played out. The outcome is never in doubt, since ultimately we must decide for the return to truth. But until that decision is made, the game is exciting and appears to be very dangerous. The world of perception is our play school, where we learn about what we really are. It is a place to demonstrate what we value in total safety, since our illusions cannot change our true reality. This world of perception, we can demonstrate that we have remembered that we are only love. We use the body to communicate and demonstrate love in form. By following only the thought system of the Holy Spirit, we become the expression of love in form. Our dream of separation and specialness is transformed into the happy dream of love and forgiveness. The body becomes a communication device the Holy Spirit utilizes to teach our brothers that they also are sinless and guiltless. Being love, we teach only love.
Well, that's it for today. We'll go on to a new chapter, a new section tomorrow.
That, my friends, is really the truth.
Huh?
And that, my friends, is really the truth.
That we teach only love.